Oh, so number 5, we're still on the first 10 rules of Vedic, integrative Vedic astrology counseling as I see it. Number 5 now is each person has a unique karmic ecosystem. This is probably the most important in my view, in my experience, because I've studied all forms of psychology, therapies, and all of that. And I think the advantage the Vedic astrologer has, they have a diagnostic tool. They have access to the diagnosis of that person, which is the horoscope, which showing the very unique karmic ecosystem of that person. What planets are they working with? What planets are really well developed and what planets are still babies in the horoscope? So you cannot use the same remedies. You know, a lot of even New Age self-help groups, self-help books or methodologies, you know, they come up with something that works. Meditation. Sometimes meditation is not appropriate for that particular person, depending on the dasha, the bhukti, the chart that they're running. Sometimes it's going out into the world and actually scrubbing toilets, you know, or working in the world is more important for their even for their own peace of mind. And so this looking at each horoscope as a unique karmic ecosystem, that it not to impose your karmic ecosystem. Because we all have our, you know, if you go to a dozen astrologers, to some extent we can't help it. I am right now imposing my karmic ecosystem on you, my method of how I interpret Vedic astrology. But even my teachers, some of them interpret it very differently. And you can take the same horoscope to one of my teachers and they will interpret it quite differently than I do. Because I happen to have a lot of earth in my chart, so I'm more pragmatic. I want pragmatic use of it in the world, okay? But so part of the training of a Vedic astrologer is, that's why you need to get to know the whole horoscope, is that each person has their own unique karmic ecosystem. And so my job is to train you to see that, and then, you know, over time as we take more and more classes, and to counsel and give remedies and solutions and help or whatever it is that you're being called upon to give that is adapted to their unique horoscope. So you can't use therapies or solutions en masse, like sort of like something that works for everybody. There are some things that we will learn that work for everybody, but all Vedic sciences are, whether it's Ayurveda or yoga, they are very much based on individual therapies that everybody, you know, you can't take a very pitta fiery person and put them in, you know, more fiery situations, because that's just going to increase their fire. And we are starting to see this in modern medical science finally, in that they're using genetics. Remember, the future of medicine is going to be, you know, it's already coming, how does this medicine, you know, suit this person and not this one, and the dosage. That's sort of the same thing. So each person's karmic unique ecosystem is unique. So you cannot begin to be a good Vedic astrology counselor until you understand the totality of the zodiac. Otherwise, you're going to give solutions based on your particular vantage point, where you're standing in the 360 degrees of the zodiac. And we know that if you want to help people through counseling and persuade them to change course, if you don't awaken their inner knowing, their direct knowing, your remedies will be superficial. I do that even in my Ayurveda work. You know, I'm very, very careful. Because I say my medicine that I give you is only as good as if you'll take it. If you want to persuade people to change course, do not impose your external authority or belief, because that is also dangerous for you yourself too. You could be wrong. So again, you have to adapt yourself to their window to the world, their horoscope, and then from that vantage point, come up with solutions that will work for them. And again, don't impose the conclusions of your own ecosystems. And you know, this refers to even when you read a horoscope, you've got to be aware, are you reading a male or a female? You've got to be aware what background they're coming from. You know, age is very important. I do a lot of chart reading for young people I have some clients that I've been working with for 10, 15 years whose parents sent them to me around the age of 14, 15. And, about the age that I don't like to see any younger than that, because they're just, I think then you start imposing your ideas on them. But, what I counsel, I give them when they're 30, 35 is very different from what I was telling them when they were 15. I just open doors for them at that age. I'm not going to tell them, oh, look at that bad dasha that's coming up. Oh my God, that's the end of it. That would be terrible. So there's a lot of intelligence that goes into integrative Vedic astrology counseling. The skill isn't just being able to read a chart. And most courses will just teach you how to read a chart. But what do you do with that once you have it in your, how do you use it once you have it once you have that skill set? To me, that's the most important thing that you're going to learn in this course with me.